Okay, what's going on? It's Johnny America here. One more video. This video is going to be talking about Candace Owens. Candace Owens, as you saw in the beginning, that clip right there is just a powerful clip to me of how she expresses herself. I don't know why so many people are against Candace Owens, but it looks weird to me. Like I just be wondering, like, if if you're against what Candace is saying, why? First of all, we're gonna go through a little bit of her content today, and we're gonna see what it is, see what people hate about her. Everybody hates Candace. Okay, here we go. Let's see why people hate her.
I don't know, guys. We just can't get one verifiable piece of evidence that Tyler Robinson even exists. Does he even exist? I think it's a fair question. Is he just an AI app? Does Tyler Robinson even exist at this point?
I feel her on that. Like, do he even exist? Like, where is he? How do we know this footage is real and recent of him sitting in jail? If you're looking at him when he's reacting to the sentencing or whatever it was, or the accusations, he was looking like he heard something completely different. Like they had pre-recorded him during a whole nother part of it. There's a local station, I think it's KUTV or something like that, local in Utah. They just did a whole little segment about the police department don't have the footage of him walking in. The news station just wanted to, talk a little more about the story, and requested the footage of them because they said his father walked him into the station, right? So they wanted to see the footage of his father walking him into the station, and they didn't have any. They was like, well, they kept delaying them. Oh, well, we don't got it. We this message us again in a month, or they kept delaying the local news station, TV news station, to release that footage of the guy being walked in, Tyler Robinson being walked in by his dad. Well, now they're saying they lost it. Like, you talk about getting played in your face. Like, we are all getting played in their face. You lost it. This story has to be the biggest story in Utah police station history, any police station history, and you lost the footage of him being walked. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Stop lying. It's like, get out of my face. You're lying. I just can't stand it. But anyway, let's listen to Candace.
Feels like a fair question because we can't get one clear image. And now, which good on them for realizing, oh wait, actually we can put in a gamma request and figure out whether like we can just watch him turn himself in. That's a big part of the story. Heroic dad marches his son in and says, here he is. And I told you that was all crap. So what actually happened? What actually happened? He also can't appear in person. He's appearing electronically, doesn't have to put his video on for court hearings. What is going on? How dare they call anything that we are covering a conspiracy theory? The conspiracy theory,
Before she go into this, she gonna tell you what a conspiracy theory is, but she's right. Like, the amount of people that are out here in this world that are on YouTube, content creators, da 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 da, famous content creators, famous black content creators. Not saying that because you're black you should be commenting or saying anything, but the amount of people that talk about everything that has been whisper silent on this. Y'all don't find that like strange? Like, the normal people like you and me, you don't find that strange? Like, what? Like, y'all don't see this happening today? We still talk about JFK being assassinated. Yeah, and he wasn't the president. Charlie Kirk wasn't no president, but this was like in your face like that though. Like how blatant and bloody that was. That's how this one was. Like, that has an effect on you whether you know it did or didn't. It had an effect on you. Had an effect on your sensibility and your realities. Like, yeah, it had to change it. Like, whoa. When you saw that, like, you saw the whole thing happen. That messed people up. So they did that to us for what? Because and this is the thing, people will be quiet about this, but you know the story doesn't make sense. You know what they're saying doesn't make sense. And everybody is constantly on Candace's back. Like she's just doing the worst thing on the planet. And it's like, actually she's trying to find the truth. Like what happened to her friend? Like, we don't even care about that anymore? Like when do we stop caring about that? When do we stop caring about people telling the truth or lying to you? And that being like a way you weighed what side you went on. Like, yeah, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go on the side with the people that's lying to me. I'm gonna lean with them. Like, when did we start doing that? When did we start leaning with the lies? They have gaslit y'all. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all. They have gaslit y'all about Candace Owens. Now, Candace Owens, just like me, and just like a lot of black people I know, is all about being accountable, doing what you're supposed to do. She she's about working hard, grinding. She don't believes in she's a victim. She don't believe she is oppressed. Doesn't have her personal oppressors. Like she none of that. She's just a regular person. So a lot of people don't like her. She's well, she's actually not regular because the majority is the regular and the majority of people feel like they got an oppressor. But she doesn't think like that. So a lot of people, it's easy for y'all to dismiss what she's doing right now. And that's fair. That's fair. You don't rock with who you don't rock with. But like at some point for me, even people that I don't like to listen to, which I found myself hearing some things that I'll tell you later who I've been listening to lately, and I'm just like, dang, that do make sense. You're not wrong. But yeah, Candace is always on point. She has proven I'm gonna put up here in the video how many lies from Turning Point USA. Like it was like 2 pages of lies that she has busted. Flat out busted the lies. They lie and then she come see, and this is what Candace does that's so genius. And a lot of people don't get it and they have a complaint about this, what she does. I'm gonna explain it. She may have some information, some tips or whatever. She goes through what appears to be a pretty arduous process of making sure that those tips are legitimate. She goes through that process. And then when she makes sure they're legitimate, she'll throw a little something out there. She'll do a show and throw a little something out there. And it'll be like, turning point. I'm asking you to be honest and da 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 and don't lie. Just be truthful about this because I know what I'm talking about. And she won't reveal it all. She'll reveal a little bit of it. Just enough so Turning Point can feel comfortable lying about it. And they'll come out with a lie, a whole fictitious story. They have done this so many times to Candace. This one dude came out the day after and was like, the day after Candace made her first video about this and was like, Candace isn't even close to Charlie. They not even he said he was a Turning Point executive and he hadn't seen her since 2016. And 2024, she had just did a tour with them. She did a whole campus tour, sitting out there just like Charlie Kirk be sitting, talking to the kids. She had just did the same thing. And this dude came out like he was a Turning Point exec. He was white, so everybody believed him. He was like, "Yeah, I'm a Turning Point executive. I haven't done," and he did that on PBD show. And the way PBD was acting, and the way Vinny was acting, and Adam was just being his normal self, but the way them other two was acting scared me. I was like, "What?" Like I literally stopped watching PBD that day. 'Cause I was like, "Ain't no way." Like, Vinny act like he's the angry patriot. Dude on that first episode, he said, "What do you think? The FBI is lying to us or something?" Like, yeah. I mean, don't you like, we don't know that that they had something to do with Martin Luther King's they've admitted it. Martin Luther King's assassination, JFK's assassination, they've admitted it. The government some entity in the government has admitted to that. Like, do we forget that? Did we forget that now all of a sudden they're not gonna steer us wrong? I mean, you got Cash Patel. He looked like you could tell him like blink twice if you need help, and we'll come help you. We got your back. If you need some help, just blink. And but it seems like something is wrong with the. It was just and to be fair, don't get mad at us for calling it out. But the truth is like it's based off of what you said. Like you the one said that. You the one said you was gonna be like this. You the one said you was gonna act like this and do this, and I'm gonna be get in there and do this, and that. So we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. This goes to Trump. This goes to Vivek. This goes to Dan Bongino. This goes to Pam Bondi. This goes to all y'all. We were rooting for y'all. So the average American person is looking out like, what are y'all doing? We want you to be we rooted for you. We lost family and friends for you. Some of us got fired for you. Somebody probably got punched in their face for you. People got shit written on their cars for you. Nobody wanted you. You could barely even say you were a Trump supporter without everybody being on your back. Like, man, would you, man, bro, can I just like who I like out of the two? Is it okay for me to just make that choice? But people act like you couldn't do that because we did that for y'all. And now y'all acting different. Don't get mad at us for saying it. You should be like, wait, use it as a wake up sign. Like, wait, maybe we need to get back to the people that put us in this position. Because who do you work for? Don't you work for me? Don't you work for me? You're my government, right? So you don't act like it. You don't act like it. Anyway, let's get back to Candace.
What it is right now. I don't want you guys to be conspiracy theorists. The conspiracy theory is that Tyler Robinson, who did not attend UVU, had never been on UVU campus, packed up his car that day, jumped onto a rooftop, figured out how to like jump around like Spider-Man, and just knew exactly where Charlie Kirk would be seated, despite having never been there. Took one shot with 30-06 that got stopped because Charlie eats spinach. And then he swallowed it actually because it actually ricocheted down into his stomach. He then makes a hasty retreat into a Dairy Queen where he texts every minute of what he did to his lover. And then despite going home to his lover, he decides the next day to still text his lover more about his dad. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, he's home, but they're still texting more because like that's what you should do as opposed to just talking to him face to face. And he wanted to get away with it, and he expresses that, but at the same time, despite the fact that he's got like a 4.3 GPA and he's like a boy genius, he just decides to write every minute of the crime that he had just committed to his love. That's actually the conspiracy theory. Like that's the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. I don't want you guys to believe that. That's crazy. That is totally crazy stuff.
There you go. What part of any of that makes sense to you? Rewind it, listen to it again. What part of any of that makes sense to you where you can be like, Candace is crazy because she is opposing that? That makes her crazy because she's opposing that right there. What you just heard? Ain't no way. Like ain't no way. Ain't no way we living in this world. Like what happened? Did y'all all get like the neuralizer thing and I was like on vacation or something? Like what happened? That's crazy. But everybody and nobody should believe that story what she just told. And that's what the official story is. Everything she said is the official story. Nobody should believe that. And all she's saying is we got to look at everything because we don't know. We not that all the doors get slammed in her face when she's trying to figure out what's going on. Everybody, 90% of the world is slamming their doors in her face. You know what I mean? Because she's demonized. It's a whole propaganda campaign to demonize her. That's what they do. They demonize you. Oh, you lost your mind. You're crazy. Blah 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 blah. Kanye West, you're crazy. Michael Jackson, you're crazy. Dave Chappelle, you're crazy. They always do that crazy thing when they don't get their way. And then here you go. So she's calling things out, and everybody says she's wrong. which is weird to me. That's the weird part for me. Everybody says she's wrong for calling stuff out, and it just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Let's see the security guard part. This is one of the many lies. Now I'm gonna post up here them lies.
Candace. I gotta tell you guys, by the time we're done with this list of verifiable turning point lies, it's gonna look like a CVS receipt. You know what I mean? It's just getting longer and longer, and these misrepresentations are, of course, lies. So Brian Harpole obviously sat down with Sean Ryan, and he tried to explain how things went wrong and how it wasn't fair, and woe is them, millions of dollars that we received. But this is actually the fault of UVU police, right? It's actually the fault of this Chief Long. Now, I had a lead on this for a few weeks from within Turning Point USA. Many people obviously leaking within the organization, but I wanted something a bit more solid. Like they were telling me that they knew for certain that the security did some abnormal things that day. Personally, unless I am certain as it pertains to Turning Point USA, I try not to speak on it. But as it turns out, security people are getting fired or getting moved around at Turning Point, and people's families are getting threatened. And so people in the security apparatus are starting to speak. And now we are certain. So for
You see, this part alone proves what I was saying earlier. She takes her time to get verified information before she comes on here and says it. But if you don't know that and you just hear some of the ridiculous stuff that's actually happening, that she's actually reporting, and it sounds so far fetched to you if you're not like unfortunately watching her show. I'm not trying to well, yeah, I appreciate her. Yeah, I do want to promote her. You should go watch the Candace show. So yeah, but because you're not watching that, you're not knowing like whoa, so when she says stuff, it seems a little believable because she takes her time. She'll even promise like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow," and then she'll come on and be like, "I know I said I was gonna talk about that tomorrow, but I need a few more days to find more details just to be 100% sure before I say this." But she goes through extra steps just to try to make sure what she's saying is accurate, and she has 2 pages of lies from Turning Point USA. Like, why would they be lying? Are y'all like even if it's just entertainment for you, like this is the come on now. What else is on TV better than this? You talking about tea, but on the other level, if you I'm just saying for the people that just want some entertainment. But if other on the other side, it's like, what are they doing to your government? You know what I mean? So I just think that we have to wake up, not fall asleep at the wheel. It's an opportunity for us to take the government back. This whole thing with Epstein is ridiculous. Um, Mike Johnson, they're at that point, like step one, step two, step three. Everybody's like, all right, fine, we're gonna put out the Epstein stuff, right? So they're about to do it. And Mike Johnson, a Republican conservative guy, he says, wait, wait. I know you're gonna do this. And I know I can't stop it, but I think we should put an amendment in here to exclude certain things that could make people lose trust in the government. What? What? That what? Okay. No. Fuck that. What's in there? What did you do? What are you doing? What have you been doing with our hard-earned tax dollars? That's the main thing. It'd be different if y'all wasn't taxing us into oblivion. It'd be different for me. But the taxes, it's like, yo, so yeah. What's in there? What's in there that you want to hide that bad? That's crazy for me. That's crazy. So yeah, all this stuff is like, yeah, we want to know how dirty you are so we can replace you. And in my opinion, I think it should be uh this guy with this um construction company for congressman. Yeah, he ain't just got a construction company, but he's a legitimate businessman. He's a good businessman, and he's smart, and he knows, and he has some ideas, and blah 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 blah. Because hey, what we gonna keep going for these smart uh Harvard graduates and all these people? We're gonna keep doing that to be our leaders and to be our Congress and our Senate and our presidents and our governors and our mayors. We're gonna keep hiring these same old people, or are we gonna start hiring and putting people in office that's gonna be accountable, getting rid of these long terms, and making it where you have to be honest. And if you're in there on some lying shit and you just whatever, then we getting rid of you. Okay, let's just hear the rest of this video.
I mean, it's just getting longer and longer, and these misrepresentations are, of course, lies. So Brian Harpole obviously sat down with Sean Ryan, and he tried to explain how things went wrong and how it wasn't fair, and woe is them, millions of dollars that we received. But this is actually the fault of UVU police, right? It's actually the fault of this Chief Long. Now, I had a lead on this for a few weeks from within Turning Point USA. Many people obviously leaking within the organization, but I wanted something a bit more solid. Like they were telling me that they knew for certain that the security did some abnormal things that day. Personally, unless I am certain as it pertains to Turning Point USA, I try not to speak on it. But as it turns out, security people are getting fired or getting moved around at Turning Point, and people's families are getting threatened. And so people in the security apparatus are starting to speak. And now we are certain. So, foremost, jog your memory of what he said, what Brian Harpole said to Sean Ryan. He describes a communication that, and he says it in a very odd way. I can tell you right now, the reason why he describes his communication with the chief of the UVU police in an odd way is because it's not his communication. He's actually presenting a text message between Dan Flood and Chief Long. Take a listen to how he says it.
On Monday before, this correspondence went to Chief Long. Hello, Chief Long.
Notice how he said that. He didn't say it like this correspondence. He said this correspondence went to Chief Long. He never said that he sent it or this is what he said to Chief Long. He just said that this is the correspondence that went to him. That's not how people normally talk. People normally would say, one of my guys sent this to Chief Long, or my head guy under me, or my vice president, or whatever he is, sent this to Chief Long. But he said it kind of like implying like he sent it. You know, it just kind of seems off a little bit how he says it. People do that when they lie.
We received this message today from the student group. There is a student roof access pretty close to where CK will be set up at the Utah Valley. The Sorensen Center has a couple of staircases that go up to walkways on the roofs. He comes back, and for edification, the Sorensen Center was the building in front of the Lucy Center. And so he comes back and he says, you want access to the roof.
Now, this correspondence that he's kind of acting like it's his correspondence. He is saying what they sent to the UVU police. The UVU police is the Utah whatever police department there. I don't know if it's the University of Utah. It may be, but they may have their own police. But the main person there, he sent them a message from his security. Now, this is Charlie Kirk's paid security. Charlie Kirk had a security company that he used to contract out. He liked them so much, he bought them out, gave them raises, and now he owns that. Well, he owned that company. It was part of Turning Point. Just he owned the security company. So this is his personal security talking, one of the head guys, and he's saying that this is the correspondence between the police. So when they knew they were going there and they looked at the venue allegedly and they said, oh, this is how the venue is set up. Let's make sure it's safe. Keep your eye up here. You know how they do, right? Security would do. Well, they went there and they said this. Somebody sent this message to the police saying, "Hey, there's a spot da 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 on the roof, whatever." So the officer said back, "You want access to the roof?" And then they said, "We'll let him finish reading it."
And came back and said, I was told students have access above us. If this is true, it would be nice to either have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well, if possible.
Now he said, "Allow one of my guys to be there as well as if possible, or have a controlled access where nobody can get up there, or have one of so have one of Charlie Kirk's security up there on the roofs, on all the roofs or whatever that had access, or have a controlled access where nobody could get up there and be sure of that. So the response he got back was,
He comes back, and his last correspondence was, "I got you covered."
and that's the funny part. Oh my god, bro said, I got you covered. Wait, what? I asked you a either or question. You gonna do the controlled access, or you gonna do allow me and my guys up on the roof too? Which one are you gonna do? He just said, I got you covered. And this idiot, who's the security, look at his response after he heard that response.
What else am I to do? When a command level,
What do you
person
mean?
from an accredited police department says, "I've got this area." Jeez.
Ooh, pick me. So I could confirm to you guys that something else that they could have done would have been to at least walk around UVU when they arrived. They didn't. Never did a walkthrough. And I can also tell you that this is a severe misrepresentation because the reason why he says Sorensen, and obviously many people picked up on this, like Lozzie is supposedly where the student got up on the roof. So why would Sorensen even matter? Well, apparently, and again, I confirmed this with security inside of Turning Point. There somehow happened to be a leak. And so they can't dispute this. But actually, Dan Flood was primarily and only concerned with the flag of halls, which is behind. That's what was behind Charlie. So I'm going to actually show you this, what they're referring to, and why he says Sorensen. I don't know if your mouse can move here. I don't know if you're able to do that. It's okay if you can't. But you can see we're up there on the right where it says Sorensen Student Center. Well, there is a way, as you can see, to get down and get across to the walkway. And that's what they wanted to secure. They wanted to secure and to make sure that nobody had access above Charlie's head. And that's why he says the walkway. He knew that, by the way. Obviously, he knew the context of that. It's very strange that he's reading that off of his phone as if it's on his phone and he had the communication. That's fundamentally dishonest. He should have said, this text message happened between Dan Flood and Jeff Long, and here's what it was pertaining to, or he should have showed more, but he couldn't show more. And, Sean Ryan got played. He did, and he should be upset that he got played because they're basically using him to just propagandize the situation and pretend that they're somehow the victims. Something else that is very strange that I was told early on when all these leaks were coming is that not only did Turning Point not walk the campus when they got there, I'm referring to the security, but also the only thing that Dan Flood apparently cared about was making sure that their SUVs had clear access behind Charlie, in and out access. So they were not concerned about any other rooftops. They were not concerned about walking to make sure that they had access to other rooftops, obviously, or to make sure that they could see what points it was that the people could just walk onto the courtyard. They weren't concerned about any of that. All they cared about, for whatever reason, was the flag of halls, controlled access in the flag of halls. And I'm wondering if that reason is because, this is really interesting, but I told you, it's kind of strange that there were only 2 videos of people really that saw the alleged shooter on the roof that sprinted off of Losey. I found that to be quite strange. There were a lot of people there that day, a lot of action that was caught. There wasn't even any more testimonies that came out. And when we hunted down the origin of those videos, I found it strange that those students who shot it didn't post it themselves. They went through third-party people, fourth-party people. One person, both of them, jumped through multiple hoops to get that video out. And when we tracked those people down, both of those students or non-students were in the military, right? ROTC. I found that to be very interesting and compelling. And I am wanting to know more about what was happening in that Hall of Flags. Something is off here. There seemed to be a lot of buzz about the Hall of Flags. Even that Indian kid that we had showed you was taking that shot, who
So many inconsistencies. You saw that thing that I posted up there with the all of the Turning Point lies. Like, I mean, and it's clear. Like, why do you lie? Why do you tell lies to cover something up, right? So it's like, what are they trying to cover up with all of these lies? Like, there's like 16, 18 lies that she has uncovered. Like, that's crazy. Is that not crazy to y'all? Y'all still be like, "Yo, Candace is crazy." Yeah, like it's like sometimes you just have to like break out from being a sheep. Sometimes you just got to be like, I don't want to be a sheep no more. Like, no, I'm done with them playing me. What's going to wake you up? What is it? What is it that'll wake people up? I don't know. But we'll never get what we want and what we need as citizens of this great nation if we don't require more of our government. That's all it is. It's very simple. We have to require more of our government. They have to be more fair. They have to be more honest. We're just gonna require it. Like, what's wrong with that? Don't vote for them. And when these other people get in there, oh well, you should have been honest. You shouldn't have been lying to us. We took a lot of L's to vote for y'all. Like I said, we was rooting for you. If I would put the Tyler Banks thing up here. Like, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. But yeah, we were rooting for y'all and y'all let us down. So yeah, naturally we're gonna be the way we're gonna be. We're gonna be upset about it. So anyway, that is, let's see if she got a little more on here.
Who said like, oh, I didn't know Charlie, but he was really popular, was posting all of these videos and somehow gave his videos to the news. He was in the Flag of Halls, or the Hall of Flags, pardon me. I think more needs to be known about what was going down in the Hall of Flags, and I intend to find out what that was. But Turning Point's security completely dropped the ball, and they knew they dropped the ball, and yet they then tried to pass that off by misrepresenting text messages. Why? Why is he protecting Dan Flood? Why isn't Dan Flood speaking? Has Dan Flood been fired from Turning Point USA? Was this actually just a propagandist mission to sit down with Sean Ryan and to lie and misrepresent? Everybody's instincts were correct about that interview. We are still being told lies by Turning Point. Now, beyond that, this is crazy.
Stop right there. We are still being told lies from Turning Point USA. Why are they lying, y'all? If anybody think like, oh, Candace is crazy, just okay. Well, tell me why are they lying? Why would she say stuff they want? They be like, okay, that's true, or that's not true. They just lie.
This broke in Utah. So the story goes, and I told you that the story was BS, but what the feds told us was that, grandpa's gun was missing, and then a friend called, and the dad, Tyler Robinson's dad, recognized his own son and then turned his son in. And I told you that was a lie. That's not how things went down. And I was called a liar, and no one believed that I had sources. Well, now, mysteriously, the footage of Tyler Robinson turning himself in, which should, in theory, show his dad and him walking in. His dad turned him in. Remember that storyline? Well, it doesn't seem like we're ever going to be able to get that footage because it's now missing, ? Take a listen to KUTV News investigating.
On September 17th, 2025, Washington County Sheriff Nate Brooksby held a press conference.
Our job was not to interview, our job was just to get him here.
After Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter was taken into custody in Washington County less than 2 days after the shooting.
Within the hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives.
After learning of this, I submitted a public records request to obtain any video of Tyler Robinson walking into the jail facility. Washington County responded saying there were no records responsive to the request, as Robinson did not go to the jail area. Our request for any holding room video was denied. A few weeks later, I re-upped the request on a more generalized scale for surveillance video showing Tyler Robinson walking into the sheriff's office.
For the state of Utah, we would certainly hope that this video is available.
The response? Our office does not have any applicable records responsive to this request, as the surveillance footage is no longer available after the 30-day retention period.
If, in fact, it has been destroyed and not preserved, it's very concerning. And if it has, then it's very concerning that they're telling you they don't have it. If they no longer have it, I would have expected to say that this video has been provided to the Utah County law enforcement. Please contact them. But instead, this letter leads, in my opinion, as trying to shut the door and not give you free access to the press.
While it's not clear if the video exists and was just handed over to another agency, in a response to me, Washington County shared with me they don't believe the video was shared with anyone involved in the case.
Wanting to get videos showing that he turned himself in and the manner he did so would be crucial for the defense work of mitigation.
I don't know, guys. You can't get one verifiable piece of evidence
Come
that Tyler Robinson
on now.
exists.
Come on now. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wow.